I'm a bit speechless.
There's a first for everything.
True.
Because
Listen
you
here.
usually have something to say about something.
Listen to me and listen to me good. I'm not okay. Are you
No.
okay? How are you
No.
feeling after that episode?
I don't know. I think I went through like a box of tissues.
Like, look, I'm not going to lie. I knew what was going to happen because let me paint the picture for you. Hang on.
I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming, but I usually go into these episodes blind as a bat. Last night, it was Friday night here. We'd had a long week. We threw some dinner together. The kids were all just sitting at the table, and I start getting all these messages and tweets. And I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Because we weren't going to do back-to-back episodes.
We weren't even going to think about Outlander this weekend. We've both been a bit unwell. We're going away, whatever, the kids are really busy. We've got Juliet's soccer game tomorrow. Episode 7.02 is one of the best episodes ever. You need to hurry up and watch it. Oh my God. I'm like, far out. So then you're upstairs and I'm downstairs and I'm texting you like, I don't know what to tell you. And then you're like, yeah, I think I know what's going to happen. And I'm like, I think it has something to do with the Mackenzies maybe going through the stones and like they're going to have a child and maybe they don't want the child to fight in the Revolutionary War. And you're like,
your theories were coming left, right, and center.
And you're like, they have a girl though. Oh, okay. So I got that wrong. But then I'm like, okay. And then okay. Hang on. I need to pull myself together.
Pick a point and
because you were like bawling your eyes out. I shed a tear. There is a moment where I shed the tear, and I'll talk about that later. And it takes a lot for me to shed tears, like a lot. I don't cry that often, right? This show, first of all, written by Tony Graffia, directed by Lisa Clark. Once again, Lisa Clark directed the last episode. She directed this one as well. Our really good friend Diane Manning wrote to us yesterday and she informed us that she is apparently Aussie. Who knew? I looked her up. I looked her up and down on IMDb. I couldn't find out whether she was Aussie or not. If anyone knows for sure, let us know. She did intern with Sam Mendes, and so she's got that whole background. She's probably one of the best directors that this show has ever had.
I think so.
Going places.
Yeah.
So, Happiest Place on Earth. We get the opening scene, and it's Alan Christie, played beautifully by Alexander Vlahos. And he confesses the real story behind Malva and her murder. And I feel like that was a good thing for us to just have that and put it to rest. So before we get into the other stuff, what were your thoughts on how the episode opened?
Oh, well, other than the fact that we opened on the bit with Disneyland and I was grinning from ear to ear.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other stuff, because that really is people might say, oh, is that really the happiest place on earth? Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Is.
We are like Disney nutters.
I'm a Disney adult. I confess. I'm putting it out there.
Love Disneyland. And
love it.
It is the happiest place on earth. So if you don't think
that was kind of nice. But again, I'm like, because and I've said it before, as a book reader, you never know where they're going to go. You never know where they're going to start, and I'm very well aware that they're never going to be perfect to the book. So that's why I don't go back and read, and I let it wash over me, like I said last video. But with this one, I was like, where are they going? What's happening? And I'm like, ooh, that's the graveyard. Ooh, who's this? Who's this dude? And you don't realize who it is until it's Alan Christie until you get up close. And then I really liked it. Like you said, it's sort of, you got the closure. As us as viewers, from our point of view, And a lot of, and I think I even mentioned this to you earlier today, a lot of Outlander is written from Claire's point of view. So we see a lot from her point of view. So we all, Claire and us, we all got the closure that we needed and deserved to find out who really killed Malva and why. And I was just like, and it was done so well. Like, you think, I had about 3 different emotions through this whole thing. I thought, wow, this guy's crazy. Wow, he really did mean no harm. He really did have feelings for Malva. And like, it's still a bit weird, but okay, that's this character. And then by the end of it, you're like, wow. And I sort of was like, my thought was, why did you take the pistol out of his hand? And then when Claire said, something along the lines of killing yourself, like your father sacrificed his life for her and for him, even if he didn't know it. And I'm like, that's a good point. Good point. And I'm like, yes. And then you hear that, and you're like, what just happened?
Young Ian happened.
Young Ian happened.
Young Ian, he's just Ian now, right? And
Just Ian.
John Bell, what commitment to the role, to shave your head and have the plaits. And I don't know, that's not makeup. I'm sure that's all shaved, and they put the plaits on and the dots. Always been a fan of him, and I feel like there's more to come with that character. But and also when they're at the when they're digging the grave for Alan,
oh yeah,
some bird turns up and she's like, that's Australian for lady, and she's like, oh hey, let me help you dig the hole. I'm like, okay.
I always knew he was touched by the devil. Let me help
Just
you. And
random. I'm like, do you have nothing else better to do to just help
I was
these
like,
people dig the hole? Okay, cool. Let's all get together and dig this hole. But they did it. But there was a storm brewing, and there was a lot. I was like, ooh, there's going to be a lot going on in this episode. Although
there was very good telegraphing.
Very good telegraphing. Let's fast forward to the big moment. So let me get this straight. Bree, and by the way, so much is packed into this episode. This could have been a 2-part.
A lot.
Woo, I was like, hold your horses, wait, give me a second. I'm gonna get my breath back.
Yeah, it was very fast paced. There was always something happening. But I liked that. I really did.
Bang, boom, and she's given birth. The credits roll, the Sinead O'Connor credits. And can I just say something? Can I be really, really honest with everyone watching this right now? I want to be real here. Okay?
Uh-huh.
I don't think I like the Sinead O'Connor version of this song. I don't think I like it. I'm sorry. No disrespect to her. No disrespect to Ben McCreary. I just don't know if I like the scratchy vocals and the yearning vocals and the whispering. I prefer the OG. That's just me.
Look, we're 7 seasons in. Nothing's gonna beat the OG for me.
Like that. They had the man singing it. They had the Jamaican version. I'm just like, can we just go back to basics, please?
Well, after watching this episode, I kind of like it. You sort of
you get in the dog out. Keep talking.
You've got a bit of that Celtic feel back.
Yeah.
To it. And the whispering and the scratching, after what went down in this episode, you do sort of, I appreciate where they were headed with that. So yeah, we'll get to this point, but we know stuff went down.
Anyway.
So I kind of like that. It's sort of like we're starting to come back.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, because we do have this brilliant singer.
So Brie gives birth right after the credits. It's like, wow, pop, the baby comes out. It's literally like 10 seconds.
Well, yes.
I don't know why, how and what and where, but like this baby is clean as, chubby. I mean, I know they're not going to go and find a newborn and just like hoink her out of a delivery room in like Scotland and bring her to the set, but can you throw a little bit of bloody red jelly on her or something? Like give her a bit of that. Anyway, suspension of disbelief.
Okay, suspend disbelief.
Like when our children were born, they were covered in goop. But anyway, so she's born, it's a girl. They name her Amanda Claire Hope Mackenzie. That's lovely. There's that moment when all 5 of them are in the room. So you've got Roger and Bree, obviously, you've got Jamie and Claire, and you've got this little Amanda. And it's just the way that it was framed by Lisa Clark, the director, the music, everything. It was just a perfect moment. It's a beautiful shot. And you just think it would be so nice if these people could just live in that moment and not have any other bloody tragedies. But that's not what Outlander is.
No.
We've got to have drama. So then Jamie takes the baby to the barn and does his little granddad thing. And what did you say at the time?
I'm embarrassed to say it. I said, ovaries everywhere will be exploding.
Exactly. You're like, geez, ovaries, everyone's ovaries would be exploding by now. Yeah, it was a good moment. Then Claire is tending to the baby and she sees her nails are blue. And I'm like, what's wrong with the nails? And you're like, condition. I'm like,
Do you not listen to me? I
No.
told you this.
I don't listen that often, unfortunately. I should
Clearly.
So yeah, okay. So then that moment when Claire has the baby and Bree walks in, it's a very fleeting moment, but Claire does, Katrina Balfe does like 3 different things with her face in the space of 10 seconds of like, I want to tell her, I can't tell her, I'm devastated.
Do I tell her?
Yeah, like she's got, and it's like, it's so simple. I don't know what discussions were had on set. It's not really in the script. The script is probably 1 line of like direction in terms of Claire hesitates and is worried about the baby and thinks how she's going to tell Brie. But the way they did it, this is where the show excels. So yeah. So that sets up the whole storyline that they have to go back through the stones. So I'm like, aha, I get it now. And it's all about, poor Jamie, he can't go through the stones. Does Claire go with them? Does she stay? Obviously, she chooses her, the love of her life over her own daughter. That's a very, very difficult choice.
That is a hard choice. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so there's that whole storyline. And then we get back in the town. Bree looks up and she says, Jesus hates Roosevelt Christ. And she sees Lord John. One of your favorite characters.
David Barry.
David Barry, another Australian. We're just taking
again.
over. Nice to see him again.
Yeah.
And he's with William Ransom. Whoa. He grew up.
He had a glow up.
He had a glow up and a grow up. And he's got that little bit of a ranger hair. So you know that he's got that connection. And Bree's all knowing, but has to keep her mouth shut.
Which she does quite courteously, I think. She does it really well.
Yeah. So I'm curious then what you thought about the following scene, because I felt it was one of the best of the whole episode, because Jamie and John have a history. They have a connection. Obviously, we know how John feels about Jamie. And we know that Jamie doesn't feel the same way romantically, but of course he does respect and appreciate John profoundly for taking William on, as his own son.
Yeah.
Jamie says, I fear we must sever the connection between us. And Lord John says, damn this war.
Mm.
Their eyes well up with tears.
Both
Jamie,
of them.
both of them, and I was like, wow. You don't
It was
get that kind of depth with character, relationships between men that are not sexual.
No.
Like that, they have a profound bond, and I'm really glad the show went there. What did you think?
I'm glad they did. I mean, God, this episode was full of so many emotionally charged scenes. Like this one, because it was in the beginning of the episode. I mean, we've already been told about Amanda. So we're already emotionally charged from that. And then we've got this one. And both of those gentlemen, their faces, like, love to have seen the direction in the script for how this would have been written and or what direction Sam and David were given in this scene, like the pauses, the meaningful look, the understanding, like the words spoken with the eyes, the understanding that they just both had, like, you know, it was like a snowball. So it just kept going, and you know, you'd shed a tear for Amanda. You shed a tear in this scene because you have these. You're right. It's not often that we explore friendships, like deep, meaningful friendships among human beings. It should be, you know, kind of normal, and I think it should be shown more. But yeah, it was very emotional, and I'm like, I was so swept away with it all. I even had to remember I said to you, what just happened? Because I was just so swept away with the emotion. I really wasn't listening to the words. I was just watching the faces on these guys.
So I tend to do that a lot with Sam Heughan. I
Yeah.
just like to watch his face. So let's just keep going through the stuff, and then we'll talk about, you know, our final reactions. But okay. So the McKenzies go through the stones. I've always wanted to know more about the stones. I want to see more of that because I'm like, I love that fantasy element from the show. I wish we could see more about the stones and how they work. And I don't think that will ever really. That's not the point of the show. It's really just it's a device to get these people back and forth between the time.
What? So you want to see them sort of dissolve into the stone?
I want to see. They always just cut away to the stone itself, and then they go back and they're there. I'm like, I want to see.
And you hear the whoosh.
Yeah, I want to see the wormhole. I want to see them go like Star Trek, ding, brrr, brrr,
but it's also not Stargate.
I know, I know. But I want to see it, and I want to know more. Like, I want them to eventually, like, you know, end the show in the future or in the present day with like Bree giving a speech at Yale University with like this great big thing behind her where she's explaining how it all works. That's how I want to do it. Oh, okay. That'd be great. So anyway.
That could be, maybe you can write that.
Diana Gabaldon, give me a call. I've got so many ideas, and I only want 20%. I don't ask for that much of the royalties. So let's talk about, okay. And then also, by the way, at the end, Claire, after everything she's been through, I'm like, can't these people just stay?
But hey, but we've said goodbye to them, and that's a whole nother teary moment. And
No. Oh yeah.
Then we've got the teary moment when you've got Jamie and Brianna sitting outside having a moment with the fireflies.
Yeah, that moment was beautiful. And then the moment that I had a little tear was when Jamie was saying goodbye to Bree, because I imagined if that was me and I'm saying goodbye to my daughter, Juliet, I would be so distraught. I'd be very, very, very upset with the thought of never being able to
see them again.
And I think they really sold it. They really sold it.
All of them did. All of them did.
Yeah, Richard Rankin, good job. Sophie Skelton, beautiful job. Katrina Balfe, you never, ever, ever fail to impress me. But I'm sorry, but I need to say this one more time, just in case I haven't said it before. Sam Heughan. Again, for the people in the back, Sam Heughan.
Yeah, I know,
He
right?
is one of the best actors on television.
Yeah.
I don't care about the awards anymore. The awards are irrelevant.
No.
He is so good as this character. He is so, as an actor, and from what I know of him, I've only met him a few times. He is so emotionally intelligent. He's
Yeah.
so open and non-threatening, and yet when he plays Jamie, he has this brooding ferocity underlying this soft, loving, emotionally present man, and it's aspirational. The character is so great, but this is one of his best performances, and I've said that over and over again. I sound like such a fanboy, but it's true. He needs
And
to
we're only into
come back.
episode 2. We're only into episode 2 of the
I know there's
season.
more to come, but I'm just saying, like, there's a few episodes from last season and the season before where I just thought,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened to you lately. I don't know whether you've like worked on your craft. I don't know what's happening with you, but as he gets older, like we all become a bit more centered and more comfortable in our skin and more sure of ourselves and what we're good and what we're not good at. And Sam Hewen,
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. You're right. That bit where he was saying goodbye to Brie, yeah, that did it for me as well.
It did it to me big time. But then the big scene was, I mean, okay, let's talk about quickly before we talk about the highlight, and that's Wendigo Donna. Now, I was under the impression Wendigo Donna was going to be a cool, fun character. I didn't know he was going to be a pain in the ass. And I saw a meme the other day. One of our amazing Outlander fans that we've interacted with on Twitter in the past had this like Wendigo Donna as like an eye roll meme, and it's true. Like, just let me just swear this one time. Just fuck off. Just one night where they can just be in their grief and live their lives. No, you've got to turn up. You've got to threaten them at gunpoint. You've got to ruin their life, and then you blow it up.
Smash some shit, and then you blow it up. He doesn't deserve no gemstone after that.
He deserves to be, I don't know, thrown into that hole where Alan Christie is. I'm pissed off.
Just, I can tell. It's a smidge.
But we need to talk
like, you know, but it's because it was such an emotionally charged episode, right? We've had tear after tear after tear, and then you had that really emotionally charged scene where Jamie basically says to Claire, you just cry, you grieve, I'll be here when you're ready. And he just held her, right? And then you have the narration, weeks turned into months and whatever. And then you're thinking, they're finally happy. No, Wendigo Donna's got to show his face.
Like, just go away. Okay, the crying on the bed. All of them lost. The cello in the background, that beautiful music, the embrace, the tears. It was priceless. It was the perfect scene. It was a great way to end the episode without the Wendigo Donna stuff, which was great, by the way. Great ending to the episode, because we were like, what?
Because we need to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, but that scene encapsulates this relationship between Claire and Jamie. It's the bedrock of the whole show. And Claire seemed broken. She's been in this place before, remember, when during that episode, Faith. She's been here before. Jamie was there for her. Jamie is very strong. He's a strong man, but he's also feeling it. He's lost his daughter. Again, granddaughter. And he can see what hurts him the most, and I'm just talking from the perspective of a man, is we are sometimes not great with emotion, but what really hurts us is when the people that we care about are in pain, because we can't do anything. We just have to be there. And that's very hard for us to deal with. Talking in generalities, of course, we're all different, but that's generally how I see it. So it was a great scene. Yeah.
And I don't know what Katrina Balfe was thinking at that moment, but I don't know about you. I know some actors have a little bit of help in some crying scenes, but she literally looked like she was bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, yeah, I would too if I had to say goodbye to my daughter and grandkids and son-in-law. Yeah. And have the probability of never seeing them again. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. She's been here before.
He's been there before. And you know what? I think actors, from what I've heard, they've told me, I'm obviously not an actor, but they access their own personal pain when they want to go to those places when the character is.
Yeah.
Who knows what Katrina was thinking about? Maybe her own child, maybe her father, like, like.
I don't know, but whatever it was,
I
really
so believable.
Felt that, in that, like, she was great through the whole episode, but that one scene, I really felt that. Yeah. I felt it.
It felt very genuine. It felt very earned. It felt very real, and I think it is definitely one of her best performances. I want to finish off this chat with a little bit of a fun fact. Do you know that so far, of all the episodes that have aired to date, and there's probably about 80 or something, only 9 episodes have rated a 9.0 or above on IMDb. Only 9 episodes.
Wow. Was this one of them?
I'm going to read what they are. This is one of them. So we did not we only got one of these. I'll call them the special 9s. We only got one of the special 9s in season 5. We got none in season 6, and season 6 was a really strong season. Like, season 6 was very consistent, had a lot of high 8s, but none got to the 9s. One in season 5. So far in this season, we've got 2 episodes in, we've already got one, and it's a big one.
I know.
So let me read them out. So on 9.0, we have Garrison Commander and Freedom and Whiskey. On 9.1, we have Of Lost Things and The Birds and the Bees and The Ballad of Roger Mack. So that was the episode from season 5 that made it into the 9s. On 9.2, we have 3 episodes. The Devil's Mark, this one, Happiest Place on Earth, and Faith, which I think is always the best episode ever.
Yeah, me too.
And there's one more. They got higher. They got 9.5. That's the only one.
The wedding?
No.
You
won't guess.
Really?
Try to guess. One more guess.
Oh, God. No, I can't.
Dragonfly and Amber.
Yeah, that was a good one.
They got 9.5. So what I'm saying is this episode is, according to the fans, now, of course, this might change over time as more and more people see it. Still quite early. If it remains at 9.2, it will be at the same level as The Devil's Mark and Faith, and just under Dragonfly and Amber as the best episode ever of this show so far. Wow. That's saying something. Now, I personally thought it was great and emotional, but I felt if I have to criticize any part of this episode, it felt a bit rushed to me. There was too much packed in. It didn't let me sit with the emotion enough. I guess the counter argument to that would be, then you don't want it to be too maudlin and melodramatic and sensationalize that melodramatic storyline. But I just felt like we just had so much to unpack, but it was very well done, and the performances saved it, and of course it really propelled the story forward. So would you say it was in the top 5 episodes of all time, or are you not sure yet? Because you've literally just watched it. I literally just watched it. He was literally sitting next to me.
Sorry, I have the dog trying to climb on my lap.
Maybe he has something to say. It's probably more insightful than anything I can say.
Probably. He quite liked Rollo when Rollo had his little bit.
Oh my God.
Shot. Is it up there? Look, you're right. I get why you would say yes. There was a lot packed into that episode. Yes, there was a lot packed into that episode. Yes, I can see why you would say it didn't let you sit with the emotion. I can appreciate that, but I really liked it because you've got to remember these books are like this. You say that every time. I say that every time, and I always and I sometimes and I think I've said this before. Sometimes stuff gets missed. Something I would have liked to have seen, or even a phrase I would have loved to have seen in the show, gets missed. I'm hoping that maybe by moving a little bit faster, we get a little bit more book content happening. But not if they, go down a different path from the book. That's fine. That's why when you thought you had a hunch that Brianna was having a boy, I was like, okay, maybe it is a boy. Maybe they've changed that. Glad they didn't though. Now they've gone through the stones. We're assuming she's headed to Joe Abernathy for the surgery. And this is the thing: are they going to stay in America? Are they going to travel back to Scotland? Who knows? I'm really looking forward to episode 3. Now, I enjoyed that episode so much that I want to watch episode 3 already.
Well, thankfully we can. But
I can, yeah.
But yeah. Well, look. Oh, by the way, last episode you made some inadvertent error. There was a lot of comments about how you thought it was Christy in the crowd and not Brown. You knew that's what you meant, but you just said the wrong thing.
Look, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm going, look, listen, I'm just as excited as everybody else. I love hopping on and doing these videos, and in those moments, I just get so carried away, and I am one of the lucky few who get to talk about Outlander with such passion and with everybody else out there. So, and I try to get through my thoughts very, very quickly. If anyone who happens to know me knows I tend to waffle, clearly. Look at this face here.
You have no idea. It's like a running joke with this whole family, even extended. Yeah. As soon as she starts talking, people will start
people eye roll me. So if I get something wrong, it's not look, I enjoyed that episode so much. Like, there's an old guy there. Is it Tom Christie Brown? I don't know. Then the next bit, there was a noose around her neck. I'm like, what's going on? Where are we going? I was just so excited to be enjoying and having Outlander back. But I thank people for pointing it out. But I just love it so much that I get carried away, and I try to be very quick in these videos so it's not boring for you guys to watch.
Yeah. Now, final thought. Love the episode, but we're going to try to do as many of these videos as we can. We'll see how we go. But final thought, you have a very interesting insight about one of Jamie's habits that I actually share. I'm constantly tapping my teeth or my fingers, and why don't you just regale us with your insight?
So obviously, those who have read the book know that Jamie tends to tap his fingers, especially, I think it's the ones on his left hand. I think, I could be wrong. But I want to know, often in the book, when it's the point of view of Claire, it says Jamie was tapping his fingers. It's a lot in the book, it's constant, tap, 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 tap. I want to know and he did it when in this episode, just before he was to hand Claire this gem, I think it was a garnet because it was quite dark. He tapped his fingers. Now, I want to know, was that in the script as a direction, or is this something that Sam has started doing? Because he's just been Jamie for so long now, and I noticed when it all first happened, back, I think, in whatever season it was, he was doing it a lot. So it was probably a direction in the script. But now I want to know, is this a direction in the script, or is this something that Sam does automatically when Jamie's meant to be thinking?
There you go.
I don't know.
So people, why don't you pipe up with your thoughts? In the meantime, we're going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for joining us once again. It's so much fun talking about this show with you all. And we will try to do as many of these as we can, get into our very busy lives, the way it is. In the meantime, stick with Gold Derby. We've got plenty of great content. The Emmy nominations coming up in a few weeks. We've got one of our new writers, Stacey. Everyone loves her from Twitter. She's a great Outlander fan. She's writing for us now, so look out for more of her articles. And let us know if there's anything else that you would like us to cover at Gold Derby. We are more than happy to oblige. Thank you again, and see you soon.